Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Foley from Paladin Financial. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Paladin Financial Talk. We're going to do things a little bit differently this week. The month of December, we're taking different Christmas movies and looking at what kind of financial lessons we can pull out of those. And today we're going to talk about financial lessons from this guy, the Grinch.
The Grinch. And look at, you've
Mhm.
got the Grinch here with us. Is he going to say hi to the
Yes, he says
kids?
hello. There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
oh,
Yes.
Jeff, that's great.
This is Lex's Grinch. So,
Oh, I thought it was yours.
well, okay.
Does Lexa know you have it right
Yeah,
now?
she does. She
Okay,
does.
she's okay
Yeah,
with
I
that.
look forward to showing her this. So
That's great. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Thank you, Lexa, for letting us use your Grinch
yes.
for the show. I will say this is a great topic you've got for us, Jeff. But before we get into it, there are three main versions of the Grinch. There's the original animated.
Yep.
There's the Jim Carrey live action.
Yep.
And then there's the more recent animated one from probably 4 or 5 years ago now, 3
Yeah.
years ago. Which of those is your favorite?
Oh, probably the Jim Carrey version. I
Yes.
think he nailed it.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's that version is my favorite.
Yeah.
Followed closely though by the original
Yeah.
because I grew up with it. But Jim Carrey's,
Yeah.
you can't compare.
Even if you're not a Jim Carrey fan, I thought he did a good job of being the Grinch. Yeah.
Yep, I did
Yeah.
too. I did too. We're gonna have to move your mic a little bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
Move it a little bit closer.
How's
there.
that?
That's
Is that good?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That's better. All right, let's take a pause. They can edit that out. Here we go. So yeah, I mean the Jim Carrey version. Agreed.
Yeah.
Now we're basing this show on lessons learned from basically the Jim Carrey version, although the story is relatively the same,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bit of seemed like a stretch at first that, what kind of financial wisdom can we pull from this gentleman? But yeah, there's some good lessons in here for us to remember is he might have stolen Christmas, but we have some wisdom hiding in Whoville that we can look at. So
Awesome.
yeah, should be good.
Well, so whether our listeners out there are sipping on eggnog or wrapping last minute gifts or just avoiding their holiday budget spreadsheets, like a lot of people want to avoid thinking about their budget this time of year, I recommend they stick around. Let's jump into this. This will be fun. How the Grinch Stole Christmas is a classic. And I think it's fun that we're looking for financial lessons from this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
First area we'll look at is frugality. So at first it seems like the Grinch, he's a bit of a frugal person and lives in a cave, doesn't spend much on anything, hoards whatever he can get his hands on. Everything's used, reduce, reuse, recycle kind of a mentality. But, at first, frugality, it looks like that's his approach. But if we dig a little bit further, that's something we want to question a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought, especially in the movie, it looks like he's just assembled things that the people down in Whoville throw out.
Yeah.
Like their garbage, he has their garbage and it goes through a funnel and ends up coming out where he's at, right?
Yeah. So he's not practicing financial discipline. He's just isolating himself, not wanting to interact with others and not spending for the sake of not spending. He doesn't really have a goal in mind or a strategy. So if you're cutting back on saving and doing things like that and avoiding spending, make sure that aligns with some higher purpose that you have. What are you saving that money for, whether it's retirement or giving to others, something, making sure that has a purpose and you're not avoiding life, so to speak, and you're saving just to hoard, if you will.
Yeah. So obviously the Grinch is his savings then aren't intentional. Is what you're saying. He's not practicing financial discipline. He's isolating himself, as you mentioned. And his approach lacks joy. It lacks connection, and there's no strategy there. He's not working with Paladin Financial at this point in the episode, right?
Yeah. No goals, no vision.
Right. Yeah. And you have to have that.
Yeah, you do. So that's number one. Number two, as we look at the who's in Whoville, and they're big on celebration and community, and the spirit in many ways is there. But they do get a little bit too focused on possessions and gifts and one-upsmanship and all of that, and the fanfare aspect of it. Even when the Grinch steals all their material possessions, they do get together, they sing, they celebrate, they have community. It kind of is a wake-up call for them. So from that perspective, that's good. And he opened their hearts back up, if you will. Yeah,
including his own.
That's right.
As we learn later. But the Who's, they seem happy. They're big on celebration. Generosity, community is big there, obviously. And when he does steal that, you're right. It's a great reminder for us to focus on what truly matters. I mean, financial wellness isn't just about money, and you've pointed that out on the show many times. It's about values and aligning your spending. And the Who's teach us that experiences and relationships, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And they really bring more happiness than material goods. I heard it said, and this movie, it teaches this, and it's not how much you give, it's really giving of yourself. It's being there for people rather than giving you something material. If I'm there for you as a friend, as a family member, that means more.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely. And we all have gifts that we received, particularly as kids, that really stuck with us, and you were so excited to get. I got my first Nintendo when I was 9-10 years old, whatever it was, and that stuck with me. But by and large, it's the experiences that you have with people, the memories, the fun, playing games, things like that. So rather than focusing on overspending on gifts, a lot of times that are, particularly with kids, they're on to the next thing pretty darn quickly.
Right.
Is invest in those experiences and being present and giving of yourself, as you said, Tony. So it's not just the financial aspect.
Yeah. I remember when our kids would look at something, set it aside, and then Adam and Allie would make a ball out of the wrapping paper and throw them at each other. And they were having more, the toys just got shoved aside. It's like, oh, okay, I see how this works after we spent all that time. And, we're going to pick out just the thing. They're going to love this. So that's a really great point, I think. So it is a good reminder about focusing on what truly matters. Although, being there for people is typically the greater gift. However, for me, just for you personally, when you think about me at Christmas, I would like cash.
Okay.
If you could.
Let me write that down.
Take
a moment to write that
I don't
down.
necessarily need you there for me. I don't need your emotional support or experience.
You just kind of undid that.
I'm undoing what we're trying to point out. Again, shoot. Oh, well, again, it's more than material goods. And, when the Grinch, let's talk about the Grinch, his transformation.
Yeah. So it's about mindset. So the Grinch learns that wealth is more than what's in your bank account, or in his situation, what he's stolen from others. It's about gratitude. It's about generosity. It's about connection. Again, that time spent together. So shifting your financial mindset from scarcity to abundance can change everything. And one of the ways to do that is by giving back, whether it's donating to a cause, helping out a friend, a charity, donating your time, particularly this time of year, so many needy people that need help in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
Paying for someone else's coffee. There's so many things that you can do to make others feel better, which also makes you feel better as well. So that's something that he learned, and his transformation is that it's about his mindset and how he looks at it, and thinking better of people as well.
Yeah. Well, and so there are important lessons here. The Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes.
3 sizes. Amazing.
It even burst the frame they had around it. I love that. But how can we apply these lessons of the Grinch and the Who's down in Whoville for our finances?
We've all maybe heard the saying that you can tell what you value by your bank account, where you're spending money, and your calendar in terms of where you're spending your time. So the first thing would be to do a personal audit of where you're spending your money and where you're spending your time, and making sure that if you are saving, that you're again saving for some higher purpose and goals, whether it's to helping yourself or retirement or others, making sure that there are things that are going to be bringing joy to others. You're not just saving to save.
Right.
Number two, focusing on values. So like the Who's, identify what truly matters to you, spend on experiences, relationships, learning, things like that. And it's something we learned as a kid, is know thyself and understand yourself. But a lot of people don't, even as they step into retirement, is that we put our heads down. It's very easy to just go from one thing to the next to the next. So stop and think about what is important to you and what do you value, and making sure that your calendar and your checkbook in the olden years reflects that. I think also shifting your mindset. So practicing gratitude. How can you give back? What are your time, your talents, your treasures? How can you give back to others? And then planning for joy. So create a holiday budget that includes non-material things like hosting game nights or volunteering. I know with our family, when we're able to get the kids corralled and actually sit down and play a game, so much more fun. You hear a lot more laughter than you do when they're sitting in front of the TV. So I think those are 4 big ones: is the audit, having values, shifting your mindset, and planning ahead and how you're going to have fun and make memories.
Those are great. I mean, audit your spending, focus on values, shift your mindset, and plan for joy, right?
I think number 5, watch The Grinch.
Watch
Yeah.
The Grinch. Yeah. Watch that Jim Carrey version. It is so good. It's really impactful. And, you know, your financial journey isn't going to be perfect. I mean, look at The Grinch.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, he got it wrong, right? He had the wrong attitude. He was getting things wrong. But by the end, he turned it around. And again, his heart grew 3 sizes that day. And look at how happy he is now.
Very
I mean, look at how happy he is.
Very happy.
That was great of Lex to let us use the
yes.
her Grinch. So we should probably wrap it up there. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, by the time people listen to this, the snow might have been melted, but today we had our first big snow of the season.
Yeah, 6-7 inches.
Yeah. We have our holiday party tonight at Paladin, so excited for that. Hence the casual look you might have observed here. But yeah, enjoy the holiday season. Be thoughtful, be mindful of where you're spending your time, your talent, your treasures. And thank you for tuning in. As always, please take a moment and rate our podcast. We would truly appreciate that. It gives others the opportunity to get exposed to that. And we think we have some good ideas to share with everyone. Be safe out there this holiday season. And thank you for being you.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah. Again, remember to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast site. Leave an honest 5-star review, as you always tell people, Jeff. And really happy budgeting. Hope you have happy holidays out there. That does it for today's episode of Paladin Financial Talk with our host, Jeff Foley, and his special guest, the Grinch.